Baker Mayfield. Wow, what a great story it has been for Baker Mayfield this season, as he has the Buccaneers one win away from going back to the NFL playoffs. This is Sports Guy talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Baker Mayfield having a revival season with the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield has played so well to the point where he might be getting a big-time contract in the NFL as a starting quarterback. In fact, the Buccaneers are currently one win away from clinching the NFC South division, as they currently have an 8-7 record. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with a topic question. So here it is: should Baker Mayfield win the NFL Comeback Player of the Year award? And I honestly have to eat crow and say yes on it. I believe Baker Mayfield should win the NFL Comeback Player of the Year award. I have to give Baker Mayfield a lot of credit for the turnaround of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and most importantly, turning around his own NFL career. Before the season started, I talked a lot of trash to Baker Mayfield, saying that he might not even beat out Kyle Trask for the starting job, and that even if he did win the starting job, he might get benched sooner rather than later, and that he would struggle big time in Tampa Bay. Well, obviously, Baker Mayfield has had an incredible year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think when the Buccaneers signed him, I don't think they expected to be 8-7 by this point in the year. Am I saying that Baker Mayfield is an elite quarterback? Heck no. Am I even saying Baker Mayfield is a consistently good quarterback in the National Football League? No. But do I think Baker Mayfield is a top 20 quarterback in the NFL? I unfortunately have to say yes on it, because I thought Baker Mayfield was a bad quarterback heading into this year, and even though I still have doubts about Baker Mayfield being a great NFL quarterback, he has been somewhat impressive. I can't deny that. I can't deny the good games Baker Mayfield has played. I can't deny the fact that Baker Mayfield has put together a string of good games in a row. Baker Mayfield right now has led the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on a 4-game winning streak, because it looked like their season was dead in the water at 4-7, and for Baker Mayfield to lead the charge in the fight for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get to 8-7, that's really good stuff to see for Baker Mayfield. You look at Baker Mayfield this year has been completing a lot of passes this year. Baker Mayfield has completed over 64% of his passes, a sentence that I never thought that I would state. Baker Mayfield right now has even cut down his turnovers tremendously. You look how Baker Mayfield, he's throwing 26 touchdowns this year to only 8 interceptions. Obviously, with quarterbacks struggling to throw for touchdowns this year, what Baker Mayfield has done has been really impressive. Obviously, Baker Mayfield has been able to take advantage of the weapons that he has in Tampa Bay. I think that Mike Evans and Chris Godwin have really saved Baker Mayfield's career. You look at how Baker Mayfield has balled out with 2 good outside receivers. You look at how Rachaad White has had a really good year at the running back position. Baker Mayfield has been playing in a quarterback-friendly offense. I think their offensive coordinator, Dave Canales, has been extremely underrated for Baker Mayfield. You look at how that guy turned around Geno Smith's NFL career, and now he's doing it with Baker Mayfield. We're seeing Baker Mayfield be last year's Geno Smith. That's how good Baker Mayfield has played this year. I've actually been really impressed with what Baker Mayfield has been able to do. You look at how Baker Mayfield, he started out 2-0 this year, and you look at how he even got the Bucs to a 3-1 start before obviously he kind of struggled during the midpoint of the season, but now he's played really good football again. You look at how Baker Mayfield got to throw for over 300 yards against the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers, which is something that I never thought I would say about Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield struggled to throw for over 300 yards for over an entire year, and for Baker Mayfield to finally do that not once but twice, I have to say great job to Baker Mayfield. He has been doing a great job throwing the deep ball. I have been pleasantly surprised by how far he has been able to throw the football. I mean, he actually has a rifle for an arm, something that I never thought I would say about Baker Mayfield, because when I watched Baker Mayfield play for the Panthers last year, he was horrible for them. You look at how Baker Mayfield has been on 3 different teams. He really hasn't shown a whole lot in his previous 3 teams. Yes, I know he won that playoff game for Cleveland. You don't need to tell me about it, but Baker Mayfield was inconsistent in Cleveland. Do I think Baker Mayfield has lived up to expectations as a #1 overall pick? No, I'm not going to go as far as to say that. But do I think Baker Mayfield is a capable starter in the National Football League if you give him a good football team? Yeah, I think that he can absolutely do that. You look at how Baker Mayfield has been able to play really good football for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You look at the fact how Baker Mayfield put up a perfect passer rating against the Packers. Yes, I know that Packers defense is horrible, but they're still a professional defense, and for Baker Mayfield to put up a perfect passer rating against an NFL caliber defense, congrats to Baker Mayfield. He's got the Bucs on a 4-game winning streak. You look at how he's beaten the Panthers, the Falcons, the Packers, and the Jaguars. Yeah, he's been front running in a lot of those games, but hey, you have to at least be decent in order to front run, and I have to give Baker Mayfield a ton of credit for the success of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You look at how the weapons have really helped Baker Mayfield out, and Baker Mayfield, to his credit, has been able to take advantage of them, because it's not like anybody expected the Buccaneers to win the NFC South heading into the season, and for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to be 1 win away from winning the NFC South, wow, that's really been impressive. And I've actually been impressed by how Baker Mayfield has been able to overcome his coaching, because his head coach Todd Bowles is not a good coach whatsoever, but it doesn't matter because Baker Mayfield has been able to elevate the offense of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Combined with the fact that the Buccaneers have a solid defense, it's going to help the Buccaneers win more games than not. And obviously, you look at their win-loss record, the record speaks for itself. The Buccaneers are a decent football team, and Baker Mayfield has played a tremendous role in making sure that happens. And remember this scenario for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Right now, they are just one win away from winning the NFC South division title. All they have to do is get a win in either one of their two games. Obviously, they get to play against the Saints in Week 17 at home. That's a pretty favorable match considering the fact that they already beat the Saints 26-9 earlier in the season. And then they get to play in Week 18 against the Panthers at Carolina. So that's about as easy of a schedule as it gets. All you have to do is just win one out of two games and you're going to the playoffs, Baker Mayfield. You get to actually host a playoff game and you get to play a tremendous role in that. So obviously, I have to give him a ton of credit for that. Yeah, does it hurt for me to rave about Baker Mayfield? Yeah, because as a Panthers fan, I wanted to see Baker Mayfield do well, and he didn't do well for the Panthers. And to see Baker Mayfield do well for a division rival, it hurts me as a Panthers fan. But I have to give Baker Mayfield credit where credit is due. And you look at the contract that Baker Mayfield currently has right now. It's just 1 year, $4 million. And for the Buccaneers to get that kind of production at that price, you obviously have to be very impressed with Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers because they have been able to find a bargain. The thing with the Buccaneers is, though, they're going to have to pay up Baker Mayfield after this year. The question is, how much are you going to pay Baker Mayfield? Because as good as Baker Mayfield has played this year, I don't think he's worth $40 million a year. So that's the kind of contract the Buccaneers are probably going to have to pay in order to keep him, because there's going to be a decent amount of teams that's going to want Baker Mayfield this offseason. Who knows? Maybe the Atlanta Falcons make a run for Baker Mayfield, considering the fact that Baker Mayfield plays within their division, and they might want to steal the quarterback that won the NFC South division title. At least that's what I'm thinking in my mind. So we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, you look at what the Buccaneers have. They're probably going to go to the playoffs unless Baker Mayfield pulls a 2021 Carson Wentz and just absolutely collapses in the final two games of the season. They're probably going to get into the playoffs because they get to play against the Saints team that's 7-8. Their season has essentially been over more or less. You look at their tiebreakers. They have not had any favorable tiebreakers going their way. They don't have the tiebreaker over the Vikings, the Falcons, and the Packers. So obviously, you look at the Saints. They need a lot of help to get into the playoffs. Obviously, I know they still control their own destiny, but who actually believes in the Saints? Because I don't believe in Derek Carr and the Saints whatsoever, because of the fact that their head coach Dennis Allen is not a good head coach. He doesn't know how to get production out of his own team. I believe that when it comes head-to-head matchup, I believe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to beat the New Orleans Saints, and they're going to win the NFC South. Plain and simple. I got the Buccaneers going 9-8. They might lose to the Panthers in Week 18 because they're resting starters. Whatever. All they have to do is win one out of two games, and they're going to get the job done. And when that happens, Baker Mayfield needs to win Comeback Player of the Year. It shouldn't even be a question mark. Baker Mayfield has had a tremendous year. He's had his best year as a pro. I'm actually really happy for Baker Mayfield to see him succeed like this. Do I still think Baker Mayfield is an arrogant prick? Absolutely. But when Baker Mayfield just focuses on football, man, he has actually been a good player. I've actually been impressed with Baker Mayfield. I don't think Baker Mayfield is ever going to live up to expectations as a #1 overall pick. But as far as him being a decent quarterback in the NFL, yeah, why not? Baker Mayfield can absolutely be an NFL starting caliber quarterback. So that's why Baker Mayfield should win the NFL Comeback Player of the Year award, as he saved his NFL career with the Buccaneers. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @Dustin Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @Dustin Tran and Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @Dustin Tran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel Sports Guy Talking.